Number 8. In-cabin noise. The Bronco's boxy retro design might turn heads on the street, but this same styling is creating a noise problem that's driving owners to distraction. The vehicle's aerodynamically inefficient shape is going to generate significant wind turbulence at highway speeds, but Ford's engineers apparently underestimated just how severe this issue would become. Picture trying to have a normal conversation with your family during a road trip, only to find yourself shouting over the relentless wind and road noise that penetrates the cabin. The combination of the Bronco's upright windshield angle and tall profile is creating this perfect storm for wind noise, therefore making what should be relaxing drives into endurance tests. Those removable roof panels and doors that make the Bronco so appealing for off-road adventures are compromising the vehicle's ability to seal out external noise. The sealing technology Ford is using simply isn't adequate, therefore even with the hardtop installed, conversations at highway speeds require raised voices, turning every family trip into a shouting match. But all that noise would be tolerable if the Bronco at least delivered a smooth, comfortable ride to compensate. Unfortunately, that's where our next problem reveals itself. Number 7. Ride quality. Ford marketed the Bronco as a more civilized alternative to the Jeep Wrangler, promising better on-road maneuvers without sacrificing off-road capability. But the reality is going to disappoint anyone expecting car-like comfort from this body-on-frame SUV. Unfortunately, the Bronco's excessive body roll in corners makes even simple lane changes feel unstable and unsettling. The high center of gravity combined with soft suspension settings is creating a wallowing sensation that's going to make some passengers carsick. The independent front suspension that Ford chose was supposed to deliver improved ride quality on pavement, but this design compromise is creating new problems without delivering the promised benefits. The suspension tuning is still heavily biased toward off-road performance, therefore on-road comfort remains poor compared to unibody SUVs. The steering system lacks precision, providing minimal feedback and reducing driver confidence during emergency situations. The poor ride quality might be forgivable if Ford had at least nailed the fundamentals of vehicle assembly, but that's where things get even more concerning. Number 6. Build quality. Ford's quality control processes are revealing significant weaknesses in the Bronco's construction, with both interior and exterior components showing premature wear and manufacturing defects that shouldn't appear on a vehicle in this price range. Imagine spending over $40,000 on a new SUV only to hear rattles and squeaks developing within the first few thousand miles. Assembly quality proves inconsistent across the production line, with interior materials throughout the cabin disappointing buyers expecting premium quality. The extensive use of hard, scratchy plastics creates an impression of cheapness. The exterior build quality presents even more serious concerns. Those fender flares held in place by simple latches make them vulnerable to theft. Paint protection around the wheel wells is inadequate, therefore stone chips and scratches are appearing quickly on vehicles used for their intended purpose. Perhaps most troubling are the sealing issues affecting the removable panels. When you're caught in an unexpected rainstorm and discover water intrusion through roof and door seals, this creates potential for long-term corrosion damage, therefore compromising structural integrity. Even if you can overlook the build quality issues, the problems extend into how you'll actually use the Bronco every single day. Number 5. Interior practicality. The Bronco's interior design prioritizes style over functionality, but this approach is creating daily frustrations for owners who need their SUV to work as a family vehicle. Consider the simple act of buying coffee for your family. Where do the rear passengers put their drinks? The absence of rear cup holders in a modern SUV seems almost inexcusable, but Ford's oversights extend well beyond this basic convenience. Air vents are positioned under the seats rather than in logical locations, therefore creating poor climate control that makes every trip uncomfortable. Storage solutions throughout the cabin are inadequate for a vehicle marketed toward active lifestyles. Door pockets are too small for modern smartphones and water bottles, while the cargo area design lacks versatility, with few tie-down points or organizational features. Visibility issues compound these practical shortcomings. That spare tire mounted on the rear hatch is going to obstruct rearward vision significantly, therefore making parking and reversing more challenging in crowded urban environments. The interior practicality problems are frustrating enough, but they're nothing compared to the technological headaches many owners face daily. Number 4. Infotainment glitches. Ford's Sync 4 infotainment system powers the Bronco's technology features, but software stability issues are creating frustration for owners who expect modern tech to work reliably. Picture this scenario. You're heading out for a weekend camping trip, relying on your Bronco's navigation system to guide you to that remote trailhead. Suddenly, the screen freezes completely, leaving you stranded without directions in unfamiliar territory. Screen freezing and unresponsive touch inputs occur frequently, particularly when using navigation features. Bluetooth connectivity problems are affecting both Android Android and iPhone users, with frequent disconnections and audio delays making hands-free calling unreliable just when you need it most. Over-the-air update failures are preventing many Broncos from receiving important software improvements, therefore leaving vehicles stuck with buggy firmware. Driver assistance features are behaving inconsistently, with adaptive cruise control and lane-keeping assist generating false alerts or failing to engage when needed most. Digital instrument cluster malfunctions are displaying incorrect information, therefore creating potential safety hazards. While software glitches are annoying, they pale in comparison to the mechanical failures that can leave you completely stranded. Number 3. Engine issues. The Bronco's turbocharged powertrains were designed to deliver better performance and efficiency than naturally aspirated alternatives, but reliability problems are undermining these theoretical advantages and leaving owners stranded with expensive repair bills. Imagine you're deep in the backcountry when your engine suddenly loses power due to a turbo wastegate failure. The base 2.3-liter Turbo 4 engine is suffering from the same turbo wastegate failures that have plagued this power plant across Ford's entire lineup, but the 2.7-liter V6 turbo is proving even more problematic. Valve design flaws are causing premature failures at surprisingly low mileages, with some engines requiring complete replacement before reaching 50,000 miles. Ford has issued recalls affecting over 700,000 vehicles with this engine, but many owners remain skeptical about whether the proposed fixes actually solve the underlying problems. Cooling system problems compound these engine reliability concerns. Inadequate heat dissipation during sustained, high-load operation is going to cause overheating issues. Therefore, owners who actually use their Broncos for demanding work are discovering that the engines can't handle the stress they were supposedly designed to endure. Even when the engines are running properly, they're consuming far more fuel than Ford promised. Number 2. Poor fuel economy. Consider the shock of filling up your Bronco's gas tank and watching the numbers climb past $80, then realizing you'll need to repeat this process more frequently than expected. The base Turbo 4 achieves only 20 miles per gallon city and 21 miles per gallon highway, which represents minimal improvement over naturally aspirated alternatives that cost thousands less. But when owners opt for off-road packages with larger tires and lifted suspensions, the very features that make the Bronco appealing, fuel economy plummets to around 17 miles per gallon combined, therefore making the Bronco as thirsty as much older vehicles. The optional V6 turbo performs even worse, returning just 17 miles per gallon city and 20 miles per gallon highway. But the poor fuel economy is just the beginning of the financial pain that comes with Bronco ownership. Number 1. Pricing. Ford's pricing strategy for the Bronco reveals a vehicle that seems quite overpriced relative to its actual capabilities and quality levels, with cost increases that have accelerated far beyond reasonable market expectations. Put yourself in the shoes of a buyer who's been saving for years to afford their dream off-roader. You walk into the dealership expecting reasonable pricing, but instead discover that base model pricing has climbed past $41,000, thousands more than a Jeep Wrangler that offers superior off-road capability and proven reliability. Mid-range Bronco variants easily exceed $50,000, pushing into luxury SUV territory where buyers expect premium materials and refined driving experiences that the Bronco simply can't deliver. Range-topping Bronco Raptor models approach $100,000, therefore competing with genuine luxury vehicles that offer superior comfort, technology, and build quality. The Ford Bronco's return has generated massive excitement among off-road enthusiasts, but the harsh reality of ownership is far different from the marketing promises. From excessive cabin noise that makes highway driving unbearable to engine reliability issues that can strand you in remote locations, the Bronco's problems extend far beyond minor inconveniences. When you combine poor build quality, inadequate interior practicality, and technological glitches with fuel economy that rivals vehicles from decades past, it becomes clear that Ford rushed this iconic nameplate to market without properly addressing fundamental issues. But perhaps most damaging is the pricing structure that demands luxury SUV money for a vehicle that can't deliver the refinement, reliability, or value that buyers rightfully expect, therefore making the Bronco a risky investment that's likely to disappoint anyone who needs more than just rugged looks from their SUV. In many ways, the Bronco disappoints, but it's not like rivals are much better, so make sure to check out our video about the polarizing changes the 2026 Jeep Wrangler just brought. Jeep officials thought they could run on Wrangler's legacy forever with minimal tweaks, but the latest reactions tell a different story. The Wrangler is still an undisputable off-road king, but fans demand more comprehensive updates.